Hi guys, so I've decided to start favourite and fails for the previous month. So these are my favourites and there are a couple of fails as well for the month of February. Now also Liz from Chicago Law Luxury Makeup, her and I do a live. It's usually once a month. We try and do it once a month and normally in the first week or two. And this time I think that it is Liz's turn. And what we do is also put on a full face of what our favourite makeup is. And usually it's using products from the month before as well. So let's start off with some favourites. And I'm going to start off with the eyeshadow quads. And there are two, and it's going to be no surprise. It is the Chanel and the Chantecaille. I think both are absolutely beautiful. I've done videos on the Chanel with the Chanel blush and also a separate video on the Chantecaille quad as well. And then because a lot of people asked the comparison between the Chantecaille and the Chanel, I also did a video showing the swatches of both quads as well and doing a different look with the Chanel Spring. So let's start off with the Chanel Spring. This is really beautiful and it is much more beautiful and more versatile than I thought it was ever going to be. I am in love with this purple lavender shade here. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. In my first video, I did a look using all four shadows and they go well all together. And in the latest video that I did when I compared it to the Chantecaille quad, I used these two shades down here. And on other days when I haven't done videos, I've also put these two shades together as well. And it just is really, really beautiful. They are just really gorgeous pastels and I think the formula is really beautiful too. It's more of a soft look. You haven't got this big punch of colours, but I think that they are buildable and I just think you get a really gorgeous, gorgeous spring look. So we'll stay with Chanel while I'm there and we'll take a look at that blush. It is the Fantasy de Chanel and it is absolutely gorgeous. This is more pigmented than I thought it was going to be. It looks gorgeous on the skin. Really, really beautiful. I love it that it has this shimmer, but just like with other Chanel products, I think they excel with their shimmer type products. They are just really beautiful and ethereal. They're not chunky or glittery in any way. Just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just going to swatch this beautiful blush on the back of my hand so you can take another look at it. And it is just absolutely beautiful. It has this sheen and I just think it's a really gorgeous colour. I do like pink blushes anyway. And I just think this is really, really beautiful. Now, the Chanel Spring hasn't been released in the US yet, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. The US earlier got those oversized palettes, the eyeshadow and blush ones, and I haven't been able to get those here. And I wouldn't mind trying one of them. There's one that's lighter. And if they do come here, I'll probably pick up that one. But at the date of doing this video, the US hasn't got the Chanel Spring yet, so I'm not quite sure when that's going to be available. But if you've got your eye on the blush, then I would certainly jump on it because I think it's going to be really, really popular. So now let's take a look at the Chantecaille quad. The pink in this is just beautiful. Sometimes a pink can be a little bit too much on the eye, but I think this is just the perfect pink. And this shade down here, it's a shimmer, it is a taupe, absolutely gorgeous. Again, all four shades work beautifully together, and you can also use a couple on their own as well and looks equally beautiful. I think this is a gorgeous, gorgeous quad. I skipped the Chantecaille Holiday Collection. I do love the Chantecaille products, but the holiday one didn't really speak to me. I didn't think I'd get that much use out of it, but I am thrilled that I picked up this eyeshadow quad. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. And we'll stay with blushes, and Bobbi Brown released the Brightening blushes. I did a video on these. I picked up all 5 shades. These are absolutely beautiful. The one that I've taken out of my drawer for today's video is the one blushed bronze. In a video a little while ago, I used the one in blushed peach, and I just think all 5 shades are absolutely gorgeous. The one that has the deepest pigment, that one is blush burgundy, which I think will be probably more suitable for me in the winter time. They are just beautiful. So I use these by swirling all the shades together. And I also saw an Instagram post the other day where someone used these 2 shades. These have got more of the shimmer in them as an eyeshadow, and then this part is the blush on its own. And I can imagine that that would look absolutely gorgeous. The blush on its own is really beautiful, but as I was saying, I just swirl all the 3 different shades together. Really gorgeous. They go on beautifully, and just like with other Bobbi Brown face products, they are just beautiful. They're very similar to the Chanel in that when they put a shimmer in there, it's not too much, it's not chunky, it just has this really beautiful ethereal lit from within glow. Really, really beautiful. So I've got a couple of fails, and the first one isn't so much a fail, it's just that I thought it was okay. And as I said in that video, when you are purchasing high-end luxury makeup, okay is really not good enough. It needs to be a really beautiful product. And this is the Gucci foundation. This is the Eternite Beaute. This foundation is full coverage. When I say that it is full coverage, it really is. This is a soft matte. It doesn't go down to a flat matte, but I have oily skin, and it's just ended summer here now in New Zealand. The weather is still warm, and it was a warm day when I received this, and also when I tried it in the video. And I don't need to powder this foundation. There's not many foundations where I don't need to powder with my oily skin. This is one of them. So I suggest, if you are set on getting it and you have normal to dry skin, I would probably get a tester first to try it out. The other thing with this is that I just found it a little bit heavy. I think the description of this is something like it's lightweight, but I don't think that it is that lightweight. And I also found that it was a little bit patchy as well. It patches up a little bit around my nose, and it did on one side of my cheek as well. So I tried this, I think it was the day or 2 before I did the video, and then the day of the video, and that's the only time that I've worn this. This isn't one that I would reach for, and I'm either going to sell this or pass it on. And the other product that really isn't so much of a fail either, but it certainly didn't wow me, and this is the new Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte Concealer. Now, when I initially read the description of this, it mentions the word buildable. And for me, with my mature under eyes, I really, with a concealer, I'm looking for something where you use the least amount of product to get the most coverage. So I thought that it may be not that great considering you have to build it up. Now, this is a really creamy formula. I'm going to do a swatch on the back of my hand and show you. So it is a really creamy product. It has hyaluronic acid in it. I just found that it didn't sit very well under my eyes either. Now, this won't go to waste. I will use this as a spot concealer over the rest of my makeup. It's just not for under my eyes. Now, when I did this video, I compared it to the Clé de Peau. The Clé de Peau has more coverage, and I also compared it price-wise to the Clé de Peau concealer, also the Chanel Sublimage, as well as another favourite concealer of mine, and that one is the La Prairie one, and I broke it down gram for gram. And when you break them down, the Tom Ford concealer is actually quite expensive. So it's not an absolute fail for me, it's just that it didn't wow me. And like I was saying with the Gucci foundation, when you're paying money for luxury and high-end products, okay is just not really good enough. Now this could be fantastic for other people, but again, if you're thinking about purchasing it and you're not quite sure, if you get a tester first, that's what I would suggest. So not an absolute fail, but just okay, and I wouldn't repurchase this again. And Hourglass released their unlocked satin lipsticks. I think the packaging of these are really beautiful. I only picked up one shade, and this is in the shade Tide. I think the formula of these are gorgeous. The satin, so they are creamy. I think they are beautifully pigmented. This shade is just gorgeous. It's a beautiful pinky rose. It has a little bit of brown in it. Almost the perfect shade for me. I think it is really, really gorgeous. And these have just arrived in New Zealand. This one I think I picked up either from Harrods or Selfridges when I did another order. There are a couple more shades that I've got my eye on, so I probably will pick those up. I think it is a really beautiful lipstick. Another lipstick that I really enjoyed, it is the limited edition. This is the Hermes. This is a shiny lipstick, and this is in the one Corail Parasol. So this is a coral, and it's not that pigmented, but I think it is really beautiful. Now, I haven't got this on today. The one that I've got on today, I've just swatched the Hermes one. The one that I've got on today, it is a Guerlain one, and this is a lip balm, and this is in the Kiss Kiss Bee Glow formula. This one that I've got on is in Peach Glow. So I might swatch it next to the Hermes. So when I swatch it next to the Hermes one is definitely more pigmented. The Kiss Kiss is definitely more of just a lip balm, just a very slight wash of colour, which I think is really, really beautiful. So here is the Hermes, and this is the Guerlain, the Kiss Kiss Bee Glow. So I think I'm going to pop a little bit of the Hermes on. So you get that little bit more of colour. I think the formula of these are really beautiful, and I really love the Hermes packaging. If you're drawn to these colours, there were two others that were released as well, then I'd certainly recommend them. I think they are really, really lovely. And then Charlotte Tilbury released, they are the Pillow Talk Matte Beauty Blushes in the wands with the sponges on the end, just like the highlighter blushes and also the contours. I've tried two of these shades so far, one in a video. I haven't tried this one yet. This one is a lot more pigmented. This is in the shade, this is Dream Pop. I think, again, this would be lovely for the winter time. I really like the formula of these, even though they say that they're matte. They don't look like a flat, dried down matte. Now, they do dry down, but they don't emphasize the texture on your skin at all. I think that these blend out really, really beautifully. I wasn't able to get my hands on, I think there's one other shade. I think it was exclusive to the Charlotte Tilbury site, which I can't order from, and that is the one in Pillow Talk. I think that is gorgeous as well. If it's released outside of the Charlotte Tilbury website, somewhere else, then I'll probably pick it up because I think that shade is really lovely. But I think these are really lovely blushes. I used this one the other day. This was in the shade Peach Pop, and it gives a very beautiful wash of colour. I haven't got this on my cheeks today. I have got a peach blush on, but it's not this one. The one I've got on today is a Chanel. It is one of the water blushes in light peach. So when I tried this one on the other day, it gives more pigment than the Chanel. Of course, the Chanel is from the Le Beiges collection, so it is more of a sheer wash of colour. You do get more payoff with these. I just think they are really, really lovely. And the next one is new to me, and this is the Dior Forever, the Skin Correct Concealer. This is the reformulated one. Now, I have the other one in the drawer below me as well, And I always found that other concealer just a little bit too thick. I did use it for spot concealing over my face and thought it was fabulous for that. I love the reformulated one. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. And in my other video, when I was comparing the prices of 3 other concealers, that was the Sublimage, of course, with the Tom Ford, and also the Clé de Peau and the La Prairie. Those were definitely my top 3. This one goes amongst there somewhere as well. I think it is gorgeous. I'm wearing it today. It's one of those ones where I was saying I want the least amount of product that gives the most coverage. This fits into this category. It's not drying. Now, I've had this on. I've done another video with this full face of makeup for one of my Get Ready With Me videos. So it's been a while since I've had this concealer on. It's probably been at least 2 hours. Absolutely beautiful. I love it. Some people have said that they didn't really notice a difference. I do. I don't think it's as thick as the other one, yet it gives the same amount of coverage. And of course, it's got a whole lot of new skincare in it as well. I just think it's absolutely lovely. And the last 2 products weren't new releases last month either, but they are new to me and I do want to mention them. And the first one is the Lemire, and this is the cleansing foam, and I'd never tried this before. This is really, really beautiful. I mentioned in the video a little while ago, or it might be in my upcoming one, in my empties, that I have purchased quite a lot of Lemire products just recently, and soon I'm going to start doing, apart from retinol, vitamin C and a couple of other things, but solely be using Lemire products. And I couldn't wait, and I wanted to try this one, the cleansing foam. This is really, really beautiful. I go through a lot of different cleansers trying them out. This just foams up beautifully. It does have the Lemire scent. I think it is fairly subtle. You only need the smallest amount and it really foams up. If you've tried the Chantecaille, I think it's called the Rice and Geranium Foaming Cleanser, that's the same. You just need a little amount and it just really foams up. And this works exactly the same. This doesn't have any of that slight exfoliation that the Chantecaille one has, but it just cleans the skin absolutely beautifully. Your skin doesn't feel stripped or dried in any way. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous, and what a shame that I had left it so long. This is really beautiful and I will definitely repurchase this. And then finally is a Diptyque product. Now, those of you that have watched my other videos know how much I love Diptyque. I've purchased a couple of their perfumes as well. I bought their Christmas Advent calendar last year, and it was because of that Advent calendar that I picked up this. Now, amongst the candles and the perfumes, and there was also a soap in the Advent calendar as well, they also had a solid perfume, and I just thought it was gorgeous. I'm going to show you the one that I've picked up. This is 34 Boulevard Saint Germain, and really gorgeous. It comes in this little pouch. Normally behind me I do have a Diptyque candle going, but at the moment I'm using one of the Dior Christmas ones that I got. I finally decided to use them and they're really lovely. And the solid perfumes come like this, and they are really, really heavy. They feel luxurious in the hand. I just think they are absolutely gorgeous. And then just open it up and the solid perfume is inside. I've already put on another perfume for the day, but normally what I do is just rub it on my finger. You can put it on your pulse points or behind your ears. There's just something about it. It's sort of quite an old-fashioned way of applying a scent, and I just think it's gorgeous. These are also really handy for popping in your handbag as well if you want to reapply scent during the day, and they're also great for traveling. But I'm going to hold it up a little bit closer so you can take a look at it. But they are really heavy and they feel just luxurious. So I'm just going to open that up so you can take a look. Also on the back, they do have a little hole there, so you can take the solid out and you can buy refills. So that ends up, if you get refills for them, a little bit cheaper. And inside the pouch is one of these little things. I don't even know what you call it. It's like a hairpin thing. It's similar to what you get if you purchase an Apple iPhone, and that's for just popping in the back to pop out the solid once you've used it and put in the refill. I just think these are just really chic and really, really gorgeous. So I think that's all my favourite and fails for February. I'm just having a look at the list in front of me, and yes, I've mentioned everything that I wanted to. So that's it for today's video. I'd love it if you gave it a like and subscribed, and I will see you next time. Bye.